When I was 5, I remember saying bye to my uncle, because that morning he was leaving to drive to Florida with my grandma following in a car behind him. We had a long goodbye, and I remember my sister and Mom crying as he drove off. I wasn't sure what was really going on, but I knew I wasn't going to see him for a while, and I felt something bad was going to happen. The next day was a Saturday, a day I will never forget. Even though I didn't remember much from those years, I still always remember this day. My mom kept getting a call from my grandma. Finally, my mom picked up while we were in line for food, and all of a sudden I turned around and my mom was on the ground, crying harder than I had ever seen anyone cry. She could hardly breathe. After that, it all happened so fast. We drove home, and my mom packed up and was driven to the airport. Everyone was crying in my kitchen. When my dad took me back to his house, I remember standing there with him while we were listening to the answering machine. One of the messages was from my grandma, and I will never forget it. I still can hear it in the back of my head sometimes. It was probably the scariest moment of my life, and the moment I realized what had happened. My uncle had gotten in a car crash and died on impact. I still remember when I was young, and he would jump off the rock into the pool with me on his shoulders, and I would tap his shoulder when I wanted to go up for air. Even though I was only 5, it still made a big impact on my life. I realized my faith in my family and the importance of living life to the fullest. My uncle still had a long life ahead of him. He was very young. My grandma saw the whole crash happen right in front of her. I think about how hard it would be to see someone you love so much die so suddenly in front of your eyes. I try to not take family for granted, because one day they might not be there anymore. I think about him a lot and know that he is always looking over us.